30 minutes? Oh, this is gonna be tight. That room's the only place left to check. Let's take a look.
Shit. Oh boy. I'm gonna start talking now. This is the hardest fight in the whole game. The Super Insectors, they have a feint move. Snatcher's animation lag makes it tough to know if you've actually killed them. They're fast enough to combo you to death. Holy F. A lot of people get stuck here because this is actually really fucking hard. It's harder than all the other fights. I'm losing pretty bad. If you notice, I took a million save states beforehand because I always fucking... this is really hard to do and concentrate and talk at the same time. Help.
You don't need to
There's
talk.
like a million of these things.
Yeah, go slow.
Yeah, you're doing great. Keep going.
I'm trying. Second to last fight in the game. Shit!
30 minutes!
Remember, you only have 45 minutes.
Oh god.
57 minutes.
Damn it. Die, please die. Please don't shoot me. I'm down to last life. Oh god.
Yeah.
You can do it. We believe in you, slowbeef.
Damn it!
You,
Oh.
Guy screamed and oh.
Okay, let's try that again.
Well, that was a quick 30 minutes.
30 minutes? This is gonna be tight.
Alright, sorry about that. Damn it!
Oh, this is the snatched version of Gillian.
The problem too is I'm doing this on the streamed audio, so it's a little tricky to like... I'm just gonna cut that original one out and pretend I did it.
I
on
know,
the
I liked
first
your
try.
explanation of it.
What's this room, slowbeef?
Apparently it's the hardest fight in the game.
How do you know that?
No, I just had a feeling.
Did someone tell
I mean,
you?
look at these things.
Oh. 'Cause
No.
I would have thought that you had seen this before.
It's all
Got
new.
an explanation of what it was.
We don't have time to duplicate anything. We only have 30 minutes.
So I'd like to say, to be a junker, you have to apparently be really good
It
at
helps.
carnival games. Are you good at whack-a-mole? You're hired.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh god, they're all... Oh.
It's not my fault, like the fucking...
It's not.
Sometimes the shot doesn't fucking register. Alright, I'm just gonna go nuts here and just shoot everything. God, fuck!
What-
I don't believe, after all this... Some people really do get stuck
I believe
here, by the way. Like, I've seen people post, like... And like I said, if you get like 4 of them on screen, you probably never noticed this in the other combat. Gillian, never mind. Gillian
No, go
gets
Just
stunned when you get
concentrate on
shot.
shooting these bugs.
Use your anger. Oh, there are 5 on the screen at once? That's kind of gay.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go, no, I'm Snatcher, Gillian.
Fuck me! Come on! Alright, hold on a minute. Wish I had a controller for this shit.
Are you going to combine this section to a best of commentary? Just take the really cool things we say?
Yes.
Like take words we say out of context? Good shot, slowbeef.
Take
You
it all.
are the great
Let's make a
sis.
bunch of more snatch puns and take those all out.
What the fuck? Oh,
I
see the
can't
problem.
believe you got this on first try? At some point you get Microsoft Sam to replace what I'm saying. Good work, slowbeef.
Good work, slowbeef.
You are good at Snatcher.
All I know is, thank God I didn't save my game.
How long does this whole sequence take?
Yeah.
It's long.
If it was me, I'd be safe standing in the middle of the fight.
I might have to do that. Never mind,
Mr.
guys.
Seed, can we please get your autograph? Ah!
Whew. I wasn't ready for that. They almost got me. All right, let's open the next door. Doesn't look like there's anything here. Whoa!
So after the super insectors, even though I got hit a couple times, this is a lot easier. And there's...
Gillian is a goofball.
The only problem is there's 32
I'm gonna go get a
fucking
drink of water. You
Snatchers,
guys
so
have fun with this.
this is another long fight.
I like how the Snatchers come from the Jackie Chan one at a time school.
Oh god. The C button's not registering. If I die here, this is gonna really suck. But... Damn it! I can't believe that!
Oh, goodness.
Oh god.
Oh, it's still going.
Do you ever need to use the very top center quadrant?
No, top center quadrant never happens. The C button is not registering on the emulator, I swear to god. I'm terrible at Snatcher, I'm the worst chunker ever. Holy shit,
It looks like slowbeef's gonna do really well in this section.
I'm really fucking up, god.
See, if this had remained a screenshot LP, we never would have known
God, pressure's getting to you.
how bad Slowbeef was. Oh, okay.
No, I did this part in video. In the original.
With commentary?
No commentary.
With the same commentary that we're
Whoa.
saying right now?
Yes, the same commentary. Please let me pass this part. Please let me pass this part.
Please let
me
Slowbeef pass
part.
this part. Oh!
No!
Yeah.
Come on!
Oh, I think my stream's behind.
There's anything here.
Now he's dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can refresh
Yeah.
the stream.
Whoa!
Refreshing it too.
That is kind of funny when Gillian does that.
Oh my god, a Snatcher fight?
Deja vu. Why do I keep fucking up?
This would be cooler if all the Snatchers were people you met in the game that had their skin on and everything.
That would. You're right.
So you see like Napoleon,
It's
and
like
you
the
can
only
hit any
person you've
quadrant.
met that isn't dead, though.
Or else.
Or Mika.
Yet.
Oh, yeah.
Or Katrina. She's
Oh,
at the
okay.
Nemo Kobe police. I didn't answer that before. There we go.
Jeez, these guys are tough. Of course, I didn't exactly expect them to welcome me with open arms. Okay, let's try this next door.
Strategy, Gillian.
And now the final boss of the game.
Oh!
Beat this and you win.
It's...
Shooting
so
her.
the goal is to not shoot Jamie.
Yeah, it's game over if you do.
Jamie, are you all right?
Gillian, you came for me.
Are you hurt?
No, they won't lay a finger on me. Not until the new artificial skin is completed anyway.
Artificial skin research? You?
Gillian, I've got my memory back. All of it.
What happened? Tell me, Jamie.
They said they'd kill him. They said they'd kill Harry. They forced me. I had to help them with the skin development. They said I had to help them because the professor was ill. Wasn't getting any better. Gillian, the engineer Harry, he's our son. He's been living on his own now for 50 years.
Jamie, I'm afraid that Harry's...
There was nothing I could do. They forced me. But I can't do it anymore.
Jamie!
The professor, he just died. He was over 100.
The professor? What? This old man?
Don't you remember? It's Professor Modner. Professor Petrovich Modner.
What? This old man is Modner?
He's been confined here for 3 years now, just to develop the Snatcher's artificial skin. Terrible. Doing that to your own father.
Whose father? Jamie, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
You really can't remember, can you?
Jamie, tell me. Tell me who I am. What were we doing at the Kremlin?
Are you sure you really want me to, Gillian? It's all so awful, but if you must know, I'll tell you. Try to remain calm, okay? 56 years ago, you and I were involved in a top-secret Soviet project. It was still during the time of the Cold War. the gulf between East and West was as wide as ever. Everybody was worried about nukes. At that point, the world's armies were at their largest ever. Leaders still believed that a strong military meant a strong nation. There were rumors that there would be an agreement to end the production of nuclear weapons. On the other hand, the major powers like the US began to get involved in a space weapons race. But not the Soviets. The conservative despots in the Kremlin had another, completely different idea for gaining military superiority. A horrible plan, something no one else would think of. At that time, the countries of the communist bloc were facing an economic crisis. Popular movements pushing for democracy were springing up all over. Communism itself was facing extinction. Facing pressure from the reformers, the Kremlin began to panic. And that's when that horrible, childish plan was launched.
And that was the Snatcher project. Replace your enemy's leaders with puppets of your own. Then you control their governments, their economies, take over a country from the inside out.
That's right, Gillian. And to develop these robots, they assembled some of the most brilliant scientific minds from around the world. Some of them were even brought in against their will. At the crux of that development effort was a group called the Frankenstein Project Team. You and I were members of that team, Gillian. It was a 4-person team led by the late Professor Modner here. The robotics expert was Professor Modner himself. His son, Elijah Modner, handled genetics and microbiology. For nanobiology and picobiology, myself. And for behavioral science and psychology, you, Gillian. Early development was carried out at a lab in Novosibirsk, but was later moved to a secret facility under the Kremlin. At the time, the Glasnost and Perestroika movements were gaining momentum, and they rightly feared for the existence of the program if it should become known. But some of the reformers did learn of the project, and they conspired with the US to block it. Gillian, you were a CIA special agent sent by the United States to infiltrate and sabotage the project.
I was CIA?
Yes, and the government knows that. That's why you were assigned to the Junker team.
What? Who am I?
Work on the project continued to go smoothly. But then, on June 6, 1996, there was that accident. A mysterious explosion at the Chernobyl facility spread a bacterial weapon that was under development there into the atmosphere, destroying the country and the project. Gillian, was it you? Did you set off that explosion?
What? You can't be serious. You think I caused the catastrophe?
Somehow, during the confusion, Professor Modner and our son Harry managed to get picked up by American agents. But we couldn't get out in time, you and I and Elijah. In a shelter below the Kremlin, we entered a cryogenic sleep. Our plan was to sleep there until the toxic effects of the bacteria were safely passed.
And then 48 years later, 3 years ago, we were discovered by the 17th Special Investigative Force.
Yes, but when they found us, Elijah's pod was already empty.
Elijah Modner? That guy whose picture was in the church? The one that looks like Random?
That's right, Elijah is alive! Elijah is here and working on the Snatchers.
Why don't you let me finish your little story?
Who's there?
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jamie? Ah, yes. And Gillian. It's me, Jamie.
Elijah? Is that really you?
Random? No, not quite.
So you remember me, do you? I am Elijah Modnar, the only son of Professor Petrovich Modnar. I'm afraid I've grown somewhat old and feeble since we last met, however.
Elijah, why are you doing this? Your father, Professor Modner, he passed away a few minutes ago.
What? My father? My father is dead?
Elijah, what happened to you? The Elijah I knew could never do anything like this.
I've changed, Jamie. These 40 years have changed me.
I can't believe it. What happened to you?
What happened to me? Jamie, do I actually have to explain it to you? Jamie, it's you. Your beauty is the cause of all that has come to pass here. 57 years ago, I was obsessed. With my research, yes, and with you, Jamie. At the time, I was still young, having just graduated with my genetic engineering degree. My father's connections got me on the team, and there, I met you. You were working as my father's assistant. Your beauty, your smile, I was stricken. I saw something in you that I never felt with women of my own country. You warmed my cold, young heart, Jamie. You opened me up, and I couldn't stop my feelings.
Elijah.
Oh, I was so happy. The political situation was crumbling around us, but every day was a joy. I gained my father's trust, and with you there watching over me, I was able to work as hard as I ever have on the project. However, my happiness did not last for long. Gillian, it was you. You showed up and all was ruined. You arrived and joined our project team. Far from home, Jamie found comfort in a man from the same land. Your relationship grew quickly, and all I could do was stand by and watch. Jamie and Gillian fell in love, were joined, and even had a child.
Harry.
Even then, my feelings for you only grew stronger. Worried about me, my father tried to have me removed from the project, but I persisted. Jamie, I always wanted to be near you. And then, the democratic movements that had consumed the rest of the Eastern Bloc spread to our country as well. The Cold War was over. The hardliners who had pushed for its development were stripped of power and the project was cancelled. The reformers, trying to cover up the existence of such a crazed project, ordered that all materials related to it be destroyed and that we stand trial for our actions. Jamie and Gillian were to be returned to their homeland. That's about the time that I learned that you, Gillian, that you were a CIA agent, and that you were trying to pass documents on our research to your military. The country had sold us out. I'm no politician. I couldn't care less about what happened to the country. All I cared about was my research and Jamie. And I was to lose all of that, everything. For someone so young, you cannot understand how great of a shock that was.
Elijah.
That is when I decided, I swore I would see that secret, crazed project through to the end. At the time, the bioroids were 80% finished. The main part, their endostructure, was essentially completed. But we still were having trouble with the artificial skin, the area that Jamie and I were assigned to. We called it artificial skin, but there was of course no need to duplicate T lymphocytes, Langerhans cells, or endocrine cells. All we needed was keratinized cells. With the artificial protein development techniques that we had in those days, full-scale synthetic cell development was very difficult. Research like this took months, years. The original project called for us to simultaneously snatch an entire country. In other words, a whole nation, or an entire city, had to be snatched over the course of one night. For that reason, a powerful biological agent, which could quickly and effectively kill the population of the country, was being simultaneously developed.
Lucifer Alpha.
That's right. A type RAO11 virus which another team was developing. For someone like myself, who was closely involved in the project, blowing up the lab was quite a simple task.
My God, Elijah, do you know what you're saying? That explosion killed half the world's population.
I moved all the materials and records essential to the Bioroid project into the shelter and executed my plan on June 6th. After sealing off the lab, I brought the two of you with me to the underground shelter and we entered a cryogenic sleep. But not before I programmed an atmospheric research satellite to transmit a wake signal when the danger from Lucifer Alpha had passed.
And 10 years later, Lucifer Alpha naturally mutated into a non-toxic form.
But the automatic revival system failed to work.
Oh no, it worked. Just as planned. It revived me 10 years later. A little sooner than the two of you, of course.
But even though you sealed the lab with the explosion and everything, you should have been exposed. Why weren't you?
Oh, I was. But by that time, the vaccine L Angels had already been developed.
So everything went just as you planned it then?
Yes, up until that point. But my real struggle was yet to come. My original plan was to revive Jamie as well, and for the two of us to finish the development of the Bioroids. You, Gillian, you were to stay asleep forever. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not after looking at Jamie's peaceful face there in the pod. Besides, I could never have convinced her to work with me on the project anyway. I knew the time was not yet right, so I changed the timers of your pods to permanent on.
How could you do such a thing?
And so for the next 40 years, I worked alone in that cold and lonely room under the Kremlin, trying to complete the artificial skin for the Snatchers. For days and days, no one would visit me. I never saw the sun or felt the changing of the seasons. Still, I always had Jamie by my side. You were always there for me to talk to. Just you and I for 40 years in that dark cellar.
Oh, you poor, poor man.
And then, 3 years ago, my research was finally completed. First, I snatched the Siberian Special Investigative Forces to establish a transport route for the Snatchers. And then, to test the effect of large-scale snatch operations, I chose Neokobe City to be my experimental sample. Neokobe is cut off from the surrounding areas, a sort of miniature country in itself, making it a perfect test site. And since it's a melting pot of various races, it would also allow me to gather extensive data on Snatcher modification and operational techniques. In addition, the element of suspicion or mistrust, which runs deep in Japanese culture, was another reason I chose this site.
But your test revealed a critical flaw in your machine's artificial skin.
Yes, quite unexpected, I'm afraid. All my research for 40 years. I gathered data and worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work.
So that's why you decided to bring Professor Modner here, right?
That's correct. I discovered my father in one of the government's hospitals. He was old, but still very sound of mind. Naturally, he would not cooperate with me.
Of course not. He'd never become involved in something like that.
So, unable to receive his assistance, I decided that I had to have yours. But a mistake on my part allowed both you and Gillian to be taken into custody by the authorities first.
Just what are you trying to accomplish, Elijah? You must know you can never get Jamie back.
I'm only interested in discovering what I can of the human animal. In the past, it was because of Jamie. My motive is different now.
It sounds like you're just suffering from the wild arrogance that corrupts so many scientists.
Humans are such weak creatures. No matter how much they trust one another, the tiniest speck of suspicion can destroy it all. Look at how the Snatcher problem has caused such wild unrest. No matter how much science advances or how high we set our ideals, we eventually begin to suspect each other, to hate each other, and then to kill each other. The Snatchers are nothing more than a tool for bringing out this reaction. I am simply using the Snatchers to elicit the true nature of the human animal. I think this experiment has shown me the limits of human society. I sincerely doubt it will be able to reach any greater level of prosperity on its own. If human society ever hopes to reach greater heights, what is needed is an absolute leader, a firm ruler who isn't affected by these trivial episodes of mistrust.
You're crazy if you think people would ever obey Snatchers.
Of course they wouldn't. But if they don't know, they cannot object. There has been a time in every age that the people have longed for a god to lead them. As long as they give the people no reason to suspect them, then they can easily become their gods, indeed, a new race of super beings. We are almost there. Once we perfect the artificial skin, Snatchers will transcend man to become this planet's true human beings.
But you'll never get your perfect skin now. Professor Modner is dead.
I no longer have any use for my father. I have a sample of the new skin he developed. Once I've analyzed it, I'll be able to make as much as I need. Or if need be, we could simply culture the keratinized cells, epithelial cells, and melanocytes in the quantities that we need.
What are you talking about? How could you get a sample of perfected artificial skin?
Why don't you take a look at this? We found this in the rubble of Queen's Hospital.
Random!
Oh, an acquaintance of yours?
He's a Snatcher?
That term isn't exactly accurate. This bioroid was constructed by my father without my knowledge. He modeled it after me in my youth. He built it right here in this facility. And not only that, he programmed it to destroy Snatchers. This bioroid caused me serious difficulties. It's designed and built far better than my Snatchers. The machine itself thought it was human. My father input memories for it all the way back to childhood. Those too were apparently mine. Haven't you yet realized? Random Hajil is Elijah Modner spelled backwards. How like my father, silly old man. He did virtually overnight what I could not do in 40 years of effort. Furthermore, he makes a bioroid so perfect, even the bioroid itself believes itself to be real. What's more, the cells of the skin he developed are self-replicating. Once in place, no further transplants or culturing is necessary.
Is he dead?
Its main and locomotive systems are completely shut down. It's just scrap now. But the artificial skin is being kept alive. This we need. With this, we can move to phase 2 of our plan of full-scale infiltration of the world's major nations.
The summit's already over. You'll never succeed.
What does the summit matter? Nothing holds us back now that we have this perfect skin. We can go anywhere we want, and there will be no way to tell us apart. I will have free control over the world. Nothing will be able to stop me. Politics and free thought will no longer have any meaning. My will alone will decide the course of human history.
You egomaniac. Do you think you can snatch the entire population?
There's a fully automated Snatcher factory under the Kremlin. Even as we speak, scores of new Snatchers are being born.
But no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to snatch the people's heart and soul. What do you hope to gain from this anyway?
Jamie, the human race is composed of fools. But I'm different. I will be its savior. Indeed, not just of mankind, but of all life on the planet.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Metal!
In 10 minutes, this church will be struck by a phased particle beam. I am guiding the beam from the attack satellite using GPS and 15 navigational satellites. The beam cannot miss. Everything in a 2 to 3 kilometer kilometer radius from me will be destroyed.
Stop this foolishness now. I will not have my research destroyed by some souped-up pocket calculator.
Metal, what happened at the summit?
The delegates, worried about the Snatcher menace, voted unanimously to allow the use of nuclear weapons on the city. The military is presently imposing a quarantine on Neo-Kobe.
What? Do they intend to kill everybody?
The populace is in a state of panic. However, they have agreed to lift the quarantine if this church is struck by the phased particle beam. This is our last chance. I will handle things here. Gillian, Jamie, you two must flee.
You insignificant mass of metal. You'll never...
One move and I detonate. Gillian, run!
Metal, this is crazy!
We can't let a single Snatcher get out of here. And this new artificial skin has to be destroyed as well.
I will not allow some talking scrap pile to get away with this. If you were the aiming point for the beam, then I'll just have you thrown out of here. Grab this little one and take him out of here. Cowardly little robot.
You always were a real pain in the butt.
What's that?
What? How did... You're supposed to be deactivated.
I don't go down that easy, old man.
Stop this foolish...
Shut up! Let's try to make our final moments peaceful, shall we? And you Snatchers, you touch the little guy and the old man's head comes off. Random! I've always hated being used. Why don't you watch the final act with me?
Gillian, you only have 5 minutes. The turbo cycle is just outside on standby. Use that to flee.
Let me go. I'm Elijah Modner. I'm your original.
I don't care if I'm an original or a copy or what. You and I are gonna die right here. If we both die, there won't be a copy anymore now, will there?
The stupid logic of a simpleton, of a machine.
Whatever it is, it's my will!
Machines have no will. Machines cannot sacrifice themselves.
We'll see about that.
You have 4 minutes. You must go. And don't forget to take care of the factory under the Kremlin.
Stop!
Gillian, even if these memories in my head are fiction... Yeah, I know what you mean. Our memories of our time together are all too real, Random. Gillian, you become one hell of a junker.
Gillian, it has been most recreational being your partner.
Oh, Metal!
If you can, try to pick up the pieces for me, okay? Like we did for Little John.
Little John? Oh! Okay, Metal.
Hurry! You only have 3 minutes.
Thanks! Thanks, you two! Jamie, come on!
No! Don't let her go! No!
You pathetic old fool! You don't even know how to love someone!
You stupid machine! What is that idiotic grin supposed to mean?
By snatching you, I'm finally gonna get my real self back!
Random, there's less than 1 minute to go. Thanks to you, everything will be fine.
You don't owe me any thanks. Sorry to get you involved in such a big job. You did great. You're a hell of a junker.
3, 2, 1, here it comes!
Later, kid!
Fifth Airborne Division has completed boarding. 7th Mechanized Infantry Team has completed boarding. 17th Special Engineering Squad report for boarding immediately.
So you're really going, aren't you?
It's our responsibility, too. Besides, if I go to Moscow, I may get some of my memory back. And if that happens, I'll be able to love you even more than I do now. Wait for me. I want to be with you, but first I've got to destroy this terrible factory of theirs. Jamie, when I get back, let's try living together again. What do you say?
13th Special Operations Squad and all Junker personnel report immediately for departure.
We'll be waiting for you, too.
Katrina! Mika! You're here too?
You better be happy, Buster, with all these beautiful women seeing you off.
I'm happy you came. Let me introduce my wife.
Jamie Seed. I suppose it's a little odd introducing myself a second time, though.
What do you mean? You've never met them before, have you?
What are you talking about, Gillian? We're good friends.
Huh? Since when?
It's the first time I've met her in person, but I've spoken with her on the video phone a lot of times.
What? Have you guys been talking about me behind my back?
Force him. I think it's obvious. Believe it or not, the English version of Snatcher has the most voice acting of all the versions because this scene with Mika and Katrina wasn't in the PC Engine version, and they actually couldn't get the Japanese voice actresses again.
Alright.
So, we get that extra scene. Great.
Great.
So, I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen here is that this turns into a hentai game. But
Let's look at all of them for a while.
Let's see.
The
yeah.
pleasure of tension.
I don't know why they threw this talk to Mika and Katrina thing in here. I guess if you're like really interested in what's going on, you can like. They're like, if you like these menu systems, here's your last look at them.
Without metal, you only have a limited number of options you can do.
That's true. Yes. So we're just gonna look at everyone. I don't know.
That's creepy. Sure.
So I didn't want to get into this before too, but random is spelled R-A-N-D-A-M in the Japanese version. And that's where it's like, I wonder, I don't know if they changed like Madnar to Modnar to make his name like the word random. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right.
Mm.
Also, while I'm just killing time during this bullshit, I keep getting this, I got this wrong a lot, but actually Jeremy Blaustein was not the translator of Snatcher. It was a guy named Scott Hards. Blaustein overlooked the whole project. So,
well, duh.
I'm sorry, Jeremy, if you're out there. Why did you make me click all these menus, though, at the end? Because we really have nothing less to say. Come on.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. They're like, here.
He watches this and quickly goes back and repatches it.
I hope you guys are ready.
I'm sorry, you're right!
Another 3 hours of gameplay as we go into the factory at the Kremlin. But, oh, goodness. I didn't intend for that to happen. But, you'll see. Alright, now we're just repeating ourselves, so there we go. Got it. Oh, Gillian, will you ever learn?
You horn dog.
Let's see, now we can talk to Jamie. I don't care if you get your memory.
And they're all Snatchers!
Oh my god, no.
I should have done something with the Gillian Snatcher. It'd be a great, fight.
Yeah, I thought so too, actually, but...
So have they finalized what they're going to do about Junker operations? I suppose this will end up being our last mission, huh?
Well, originally they were planning on disbanding the team, but now they've decided to keep us in business.
So that means...
That's right. We've been designated as one of the government's special police divisions. That puts us above the regular cops.
So the government has decided that crime by machines poses a bigger threat than crime by humans from here on out, huh?
They've chosen the new chief, too. So when you get back, you'll get to meet the new head honcho.
Well, it's comforting to know I've got a place I can come back to.
Oh, I've got a horrible migraine.
Now, how badly did I do in the combat? Second lieutenant seed.
Wow.
Worst ranking. General's the highest I've never gotten.
You're on the same,
in the original Let's Play, I got
same
captain,
level as
like
the receptionist.
It's terrible. It depends on combat, how many saves you take, usual Hideo Kojima stuff. Police Knots is actually the only game you don't get a ranking.
Whatever you do, just come home safe, okay?
When you get back from this job, you still have a dinner date to keep with me, you know.
Don't worry. I won't forget my promises to either of you. Oops, oh, almost forgot. Of course, I'll want to spend some private moments with my wife, too, huh? What's wrong, Jamie?
Harry and I will be waiting for you to get home.
That's Harry's hat.
We can do it this time, Gillian. Not some fake couple like before, but with love and trust.
I know, Jamie.
Take care, Gillian.
I'll see you, Jamie.
Wait! Wait for me! Take me with you, please!
You? Metal?
Yes, sir! We didn't have a good frame to work with, so this is just a temporary body. Just call me Metal Gear, Sega CD for now.
So, they found your memory chip in one piece, eh?
Random protected it from the blast of the beam.
Random, huh? Wait a second. I've heard that sneeze somewhere before.
Really? I didn't hear anything. Anyway, I want to know if you'll take me with you. Please, Gillian, please take me with you.
Hurry up and get on board, partner.
Yes, sir, Gillian.
So in the PlayStation version, was he a PlayStation?
Yeah, he's whatever system you play it on. MSX.
Playing it on a PC?
There is no PC version.
Then what are you playing it on?
Now, if you guys are wondering what the moral of the game was, even though it was told to you twice, here it is again, a third time. I don't know why this is in here.
Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict. The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts. This conflict has just begun.
Oh, God.
Oh my god,
Hey,
that blew my mind more than
damn.
the entire game.
Got it. I won't be suspicious.
Oh.
I do say that to myself that's my like daily affirmation before I get up in the morning.
There is no, like, thing after the credits or anything in Snatcher.
There's no phone call?
And that's the end. No phone call, nothing. Gillian gets onto a flight to Moscow that
Just flies
never
around
actually
forever
lands.
playing the Sega CD.
And, basically.
Yeah. That smug asshole.
So after the MSX version of Snatcher, because it was, you know, Act 3 wasn't completed, Hideo went on to make an RPG out of it called SD Snatcher, which is Super Deformed Snatcher. It is maybe one of the most terrible games I've ever played. I did a Let's Play of it, because it is one of those games I would not want to subject anyone to. It's really, really awful. And it has, like, a nearly completely different story. Random lives instead of Metal Gear, I don't quite know why. The Snatchers have Elijah Modner as their prisoner, they're trying to make Lucifer Beta, who really gives a shit? Anyway, so, after I guess Metal Gear was successful, they wanted to make Konami wanted to make a CD-ROM game, so they did a PC Engine version. And actually, it's kind of interesting, I didn't realize this, Snatcher on the MSX also sold really badly in Japan. But it was critically acclaimed, so it was just kind of lucky that CD-ROM technology was kind of the new hot thing, and they wanted something to do. And then Konami of America, when the Sega CD came out, wanted to make one of those horrible full-motion video games. And but they couldn't decide on a good one, so they figured, why not port Snatcher over? and
oh, they should have made a
sold abysmally.
Video Snatcher.
That would have been great. But they didn't. Instead,
get on it, Jeremy.
Kojima spent the next couple years making Police Knots, which is the spiritual successor to Snatcher. And that was never released in America.
And it never will be.
And it never will be. And it probably really won't ever be officially released. So that's Snatcher. I don't know. I know, like, rose-colored glasses probably has a lot to do why I like this game so much, but I do. Huh?
It's a pretty... The game is ahead of its time, I think, for when it was released.
I think, honestly, the menu system needs a lot of polish, maybe an overwork.
Yeah, sure.
That's, like, really the worst part of it. And, you can kind of tell Act 3, like, the interactivity is kind of shoehorned in there. It's mostly cutscene.
Very Xenogears-esque like that.
Yeah. I'll say this quickly because I don't want to, like, say it in a Police Knots LP, but the game in Police Knots starts with your character being cryogenically frozen, and there's sort of a nod to Snatcher in that.
And don't forget the
like,
whoops!
I'm gonna cut that audio out because that's supposed to be a. Anyway, thanks, Cherry Doom. All right. Anyway, I guess Diabetes won't be doing a Police Knots LP with me.
Thanks a lot.
So,
oh, sorry.
I don't know. So anyway, I don't know. I've been waiting. I was waiting a long time for a Snatcher sequel. It never really came. There's this rumors of Suda51 making, you know, the Wii version, the sequel, but Kojima's got Metal Gear Rising to work on, so I guess we don't get that. Or Zone of the Enders 3, even though I never played either of the two other ones, but...
Yeah.
Snatcher.
I
don't know, I genuinely like the story. I think it was kind of surprising. I think it's pretty shocking that Harry's Gillian's son. That was my favorite thing.
For 1994, the story was pretty amazing.
Actually, yeah. That's the thing, you don't get games
I can't think of any games that were released around that same time that were that in-depth in terms of plot.
I know. Maybe the Final Fantasies?
Those were filled with cliches and stuff. I mean, this had Gillian and Jamie going off to raise a hat together.
That's amazing. And
show me that in Final Fantasy.
I really felt sad when things went badly for the characters, but I also learned a lot about love and friendship. And, so obviously they never ported the PlayStation and Saturn versions over, and that's... If you want to play more Snatcher, don't even bother.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. What was the thing at the end where they heard the sneeze, and then I thought Napoleon was going to be there, but he wasn't? Alright.
Well, he's there. I don't know... I don't know what version of the ROM I have, but I've never saw that. Huh.
This changes everything!
Wow, what the hell?
The Junker thing?
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah! Because usually there's a silver version in the Japanese one, and that's where it says, Judgment Uninfected Naked Kind Execute Ranger, since 2042. But...
yeah, that's really amazing.
Well, that's also, by the way, the keychain that, Artemio did, but... Snatcher!
Slowbeef, I'm your father.
Oh. No, you're not. That doesn't even make sense. I would have to be cryogenic. No, you would be.
Exactly.
Shit. I don't believe it.
This game gave me the courage to tell you the truth.
Looks like Diabetes learned about love and friendship, too.
Huh. We
I
all
want you
did.
to keep my hat.
I'm glad you were with us, Cherry Doom. You're indifferent toward the game,
about being here. Yeah, I did.
Did you
I think I like Police Knots better, though.
Cool, I'm glad.